Have you ever felt like your body is getting heavier, stiffer, slower, even though your lab results look normal? What if the real reason isn't age or stress, but calcium slowly drifting into the wrong places inside your body? Today, I want to share Susan's story, a story that shows how silent inflammation and misplaced calcium can quietly reshape your tissues and how that story can change. Susan was 62. She lived with multiple sclerosis and for years felt her body becoming heavier, stiffer, and slower. She tried many treatments. Some helped a little, but deep down, she stopped expecting real change. Then one day, her body's story began to shift. As we follow her journey, I will highlight three key turning points, each revealing how inflammation and calcium communicate inside your tissues and how that conversation can be rewritten. Point 1: Silent inflammation teaches tissues to hold calcium. For Susan, stiffness began quietly. Her mornings became slower. Her legs felt as if they belonged to someone older. Blood work came back normal. Doctors reassured her it's just age and MS fatigue. But she could feel something deeper, a quiet heaviness spreading through her muscles and joints. When most people hear inflammation, they picture redness or swelling. But inside Susan's body, there was a quieter kind, a kind that doesn't shout. For years, her immune cells whispered danger signals day after day without a major flare. Those signals told her tissues to behave differently, to hold on to calcium instead of letting it flow. Bit by bit, calcium began to settle into soft tissues, changing their flexibility and their energy. Proteins that once kept calcium moving freely grew tired, and her fascia and vessels began to stiffen, not enough to show up on a scan, but enough for her to feel it. She woke up sore. Her walks became shorter. She said, "It feels like my body is turning to stone." Silent inflammation isn't just a lab number, it's a teacher showing your tissues where to welcome calcium and how to become stiff. Point 2: The calcium inflammation loop and how it can be changed. Months later, Susan noticed her blood pressure creeping up. Her hands felt cold. Her legs felt tired after just a few steps. She told her doctor, "I feel like my blood isn't flowing." Inside her blood vessels, tiny calcium containing particles were interacting with her immune system, and together they formed a loop. When calcium-rich vesicles settled in her vessel walls, macrophages rushed in to clean them up. However, under constant stress, those same macrophages became irritated. They released more inflammatory signals, which pulled even more calcium into the tissue. Her vessels began losing their bounce. Smooth muscle cells started behaving more like bone builders than blood movers. Elastic walls became brittle. Circulation slowed, and Susan felt it every day as cold limbs, foggy thinking, and heavy fatigue. Scientists describe two main patterns of arterial calcification, one more inflammatory, one more metabolic, but both are dynamic. Every day, cells decide how much calcium should I keep How much should I release? And that is the hopeful part. Even in Susan's body, this wasn't a static process. It could still listen and respond. When we changed her internal environment, diet, magnesium, vitamin K, bile flow, the loop began to soften. Her body was still listening. Inflammation and calcification feed each other, but the loop is alive. Change the internal environment and the loop responds. Point 3, guiding calcium back to better places. By this time, Susan had lived with multiple sclerosis for more than a decade. Her stiffness had become constant. She used a walker to move from room to room. Even with acupuncture therapy and supplements, she said, "My body feels trapped inside itself." Then her acupuncturist introduced a new idea, a mineral-centered approach using anti-orbital ionic calcium, AIC therapy, together with vitamin K, magnesium, and gentle support for bile and kidney clearance. At first, nothing seemed different, but after several weeks, Susan noticed small shifts. She woke up refreshed for the first time in years. Her legs felt lighter. She began walking short distances without her walker. A month later, her son visited and said, "Mom, how is this even possible? From a physiological perspective, this made sense. By calming silent inflammation, restoring vitamin K-dependent proteins, protecting magnesium, and improving calcium signaling with AIC, her body finally started to redirect calcium out of stiffness toward mobility." AIC isn't about adding more calcium. It's about rebalancing movement, helping your body use its own calcitonin and mineral regulators to shift calcium away from hardened tissues and back into dynamic flow. Susan's progress wasn't magic. It was signaling. Her tissues began listening again. Her energy returned. Her body, once heavy and rigid, rediscovered movement. When we treat inflammation and calcium handling together, not separately, real people feel real changes in energy, movement, and daily life. If you have been told nothing can change, remember this: your calcium story is not written in stone. With the right guidance, it can be edited, and your body can move in a kinder direction. Your tissues can soften, your energy can return. You can feel lighter, freer, and more alive. If Susan's story inspired you, subscribe, share, and help someone else who feels stiff and tired to discover that their story can change too.